Last video I have shown you how I'm tracking my progress when learning Go using MCP and a dashboard. Now it's time to show you how I actually have built the same dashboard, but now for preparing for an interview. So basically, if we take actually the previous video and the previous video's diagram, it's actually mostly the same thing. But for this video, the only thing that is different is the actual use case for this specific project. So instead of learning Go, now we are preparing for an interview. And if you didn't see the last video, I'm actually going to go briefly on the diagram. So basically, the idea is to ask a question, Claude Code or any LLM. Now we are talking about Claude Code because this specific project has built for Claude Code, and then Claude Code will answer back with an answer, right? So then you want to log those because you want to also brainstorm, and then you also want to have them saved in the database and a dashboard later to find them out, right? And then for that, usually LLMs in general are working better with MCPs nowadays. If you don't know what's an MCP, probably I'm gonna make a video on that. But an MCP in general, it's a model context protocol, which is the core between your Claude Code and, let's say, a SaaS application. Let's say if we are talking about Gmail. If you want your Claude Code to access Gmail, then you want to have an MCP in the middle so you can handle the authentication for that, so that it authenticates with your Gmail. Then it can just retrieve emails, send emails, and so on. I think that's an easy explanation for now before we are making the next video on that. Then that MCP has to call a function inside Go backend. And then this backend will be in the same package. So anything is not through direct communication or indirect communication, everything is in the same package. The only thing that it's through direct communication, which is REST API, is when the dashboard, the front-end part, is fetching information from the Go backend. And then the last thing is database. We just want to have an SQLite database because we just wanted to have something simpler as an architecture where we don't want to have a full-blown, let's say, Postgres SQL. We just want to have an SQL database so that we can just go around, save it, push it, and then have it in different machines. Let's say we have Windows machine, we can learn also on that. We can also learn on our macOS laptop. So I think that's it in general with the architecture. Now we are inside the project where we have the same structure as the last video project, where we have the curriculum. Curriculum is just a file where we have everything saved for our specific use case. So for example, for this use case, I have to prepare for an interview. So I have a few things. I have to learn about algorithms and data structures. I have to do some live coding for the interview, where I have to learn or recap a few principles like clean code principle, OP design in Java, common design patterns, refactoring under pressure, and other things. And then that's it mostly for this interview preparation. Then we have the dashboard. As I said, the dashboard is just a front-end part where we have a JavaScript. It renders the markdown files. It has an index.html with all the HTML for this project. And then we have the style of the specific dashboard. Then we also have a server.go where we actually have all the APIs created. And then it also starts this specific Go backend project. Then another thing is the database. We have a schema for our database, topics, phases, entries, and so on, a few indexes. And then we also have the database here where we have all the types defined in Golang for the specific schema. And then some functions like creating the SQLite database, or a few things like list phases, find a topic by name, set topic status, and so on. Actually, if you want to know more about this project in general and its implementation, I will leave it in the description so you can have it as an example for your next project if you want to build something like that, or just to go through the implementation. Then as a last thing, we have the MCP. If we go here, it's just an MCP created through this package from Mark 3 Labs, where we basically register some tools like setting the topic for our current topic that we are learning, logging a question, logging an answer, marking a topic as done, then getting a topic in progress, which is the basically our topic that's in progress right now, or let's say what are the completion statistics, active topic, as I said, tracks, topics, everything that's regarding progress in this specific project. Then we get the curriculum, so basically it gets the whole curriculum from here, what we need to learn in general. We can add also more topics on that. And then we also have a prep search, where it basically goes and it searches across our all question answers, notes and exercises that we have done so far. Another thing on that, we also have a rule. So basically we are telling Claude Code every time when we ask a question, it has to log that question. Every time when he answers, it has to answer to our specific question and log that answer here. And then other things like content formatting, topic management, and other things in general. Also, another thing on top of that, when I'm learning on or preparing for an interview, for example, for the algorithms, I used a book, Grokking Algorithms, which also I have added some details on that inside this rule. And if we actually open the terminal and go inside and run a Claude session, we can actually say /MCP, and we can see here that we have our interview MCP running. If we go inside this one here to 19282 port, we can see we have the main page where it says that we have completed 3, 1 is in progress, we have logged 28 questions, 28 answers, 2 exercises, and 29 remaining. We also can see what are the tracks like algorithms, live coding, system design. We can also see our progress here on the left, where we can expand it or close it. We can see here, if we go to this one, we can see we have all the questions. It also says this was an exercise, what was the solution for it. So we have a different types of logs that we have in our database. And as you can see here, for this one, it's in progress, and we can see all the questions and answers done so far, or logged so far. We can also go with Command and K and search for something like, let's say, recursion, or say Y. Then searches for all Y questions that I have logged. And we could also press on one, and then as you can see, we have searched for, let's say, this one. It actually opened us the topic for that, but it didn't actually go to the specific question. This is just a limitation that it's done so far. It can be improved on that, I think, very easy. So if we search by that, why does iterative, binary search, yeah, we can see the question here and we can see the answer for that one. This is just like a workaround for now. Probably I will push the new update after making this video, because I'm still preparing for this interview. So I think as a takeaway for this video is that every time when you have to prepare for something nowadays, or you have to, or you want to learn, or not have to learn a topic, or maybe have to learn a topic actually in maybe 2 weeks or something, then you can use Claude Code or any LLM and some MCP setup, a few things like having a Go project for that as I have here, and then you are good to go. And then you can learn with your book, and in general maybe you can go into roadmap.sh to learn a topic together with your setup that you have created. But the idea in general is that you can use Claude Code for other things rather than just use it to get shit done, right? And you will have the project in the description. As I said, you can fork it, you can change the curriculum, you can do whatever you want. And for this video, if you like it, please leave a like and subscribe if you are new, and see you next time. Bye.